Hello and welcome. I finally gotten off my ass and done something. Now this episode's going to be a little different because I'm going to start devoting one episode at the end of each month to blabbering about the latest downloadable releases for the Wii and DS. But we'll see how long that lasts. Now it's been a while, but I think I've improved, especially when it comes to editing the video. Okay, first things first. Let's get all of the Virtual Console releases out of the way. So here they are, the January 2010 VC releases sung to the tune of We Didn't Start the Fire. First is Final Fight 3, then Shanghai 2, followed by Shadow Dancer, and finally Ghoul Patrol. Final Fight 3 is a beat-em-up game released exclusively for the Super Nintendo. One of the main characters is Mike Hager, who looks like a buffed-up version of Freddie Mercury. Some call it the Super Nintendo's Streets of Rage 2. The Japanese call it Final Fight Tough. I call it Final Fight Tough Shit. It's kind of funny, really. The Japanese Virtual Console for some reason skipped over Final Fight 2, so they only have Final Fight 1 and 3, while we have the entire trilogy. No, you're not getting those 15 seconds back. Shanghai 2 is, well, it's Mahjong. Well, no, it's Shanghai, but some people like to call it Mahjong. You big idiots! The goal of the game is to match tiles, but you can't match tiles that aren't exposed either because they're under another layer or because other tiles are completely surrounding them, touching them inappropriately. But does that make it worth $8? Only you know the true answer. Shadow Dancer is something of a spin-off in the Shinobi franchise. It plays a little like the original arcade Shinobi. You go from point A to point B, shooting shuriken at bad guys, jumping from the lower levels to the higher levels, and rescuing hostages. And to top it off, you have a ninja dog to help you. It's kind of funny, really. The Japanese Virtual Console got this game when the Wii launched back in December 2006, so they had this game available for a little more than 3 years, and we're just now getting it. No, you're not getting those 15 seconds back either. Ghoul Patrol is the lost sequel to Zombies Ate My Neighbors, the fun LucasArts game where you ran around shooting zombies and rescuing your dumbass neighbors. Man, look at Zeke. Isn't he just the raddest dude ever? One of the biggest releases in January would probably be Dark Void Zero. Much like Mega Man 9 and the upcoming Mega Man 10, this is another retro throwback to the NES days. Unlike Mega Man, it's not a throwback to an old franchise, but rather an interesting marketing ploy for a new game. The real Dark Void is available for the Xbox, the PlayStation, and that computer thing. Interestingly, this fake prequel for Dark Void has been getting much greater feedback than the high-definition game, both from critics and users alike. The cool thing about Dark Void Zero is that Capcom created a huge elaborate backstory to the game being lost in time, and it involved current late-night host Jimmy Fallon. Fallon plugged the game a day after it came out, but it went a little something like this. So guys, I won this contest when I was a kid. And to play a game, and the game never came out, but now it's out on the download DS. Go download the DS today. And that was pretty much it. Capcom works really hard to create this elaborate backstory involving you, and this is what they get out of it? Conan O'Brien could have done a better job promoting Mega Man 3! DOS! One of the crazier WiiWare releases is Muscle March from Namco. In this game, a jar of protein has been stolen, and it's up to a team of muscular people, and a bear, to get it back. What's happening here is that the thief makes various poses while crashing through walls. While these guys chase him single file, they have to strike that pose using the Wii Remote nunchuck, or else they'll be knocked out. Look how easy that game makes it to bash through walls. I bet I could do that. Here we go! Ah, son of a bitch! Namco even went to the trouble of making a really creepy infomercial for it. Another big release this month was the WiiWare port of the first Phoenix Wright game. Yes, you can finally wave the Wii Remote to yell objection. It's a really straightforward port. Everything looks and sounds the way it was on the DS. Or Game Boy Advance? Anyway, if you already have the game, then you might not want to make the dive. But if you've never played the game before, then it's extremely recommended that you get this. Or if you don't have the game anymore because your idiot younger brother lost it, ate it, or traded it in because it wasn't Halo, then it's a great way to buy it back. $10 is really cheap, cheaper than used prices for the DS carts. And the Wii shop has infinite copies. Now, most people are going to complain about how the extra case added for the DS version is add-on content, and that Capcom is the worst person ever to do that. But predictably, I'm not. I mean, it's just 100 points. 100 points! $1 for a Phoenix Wright case. The longest case in the game, too. That's a bargain! Let's compare. What else is being thrown around the shop for 100 points? Stuff like a helicopter, a set of new card skins, difficulty modes, a dolphin, and new wardrobes. How much time are you going to be spending with that helicopter? Like 5 seconds? Now how much time are you going to spend trying to crack a really tough mystery? I'd say the only other add-on content people would spend that much time on are the extra stories and the after years, and those cost 300 points. Also released in January was the first WiiWare game to support Motion Plus called Shadowplay. In Shadowplay, shadows are presented on a wall. It's your job to recreate the shapes by using objects at your disposal like bananas and junk. For the most part, grades are determined by how well you stayed in the lines. Another WiiWare first this month was the first Wii Speak game. The honor goes to none other than Uno. Yeah, it's Uno. Hopefully you know this game by now. But something's wrong here. 1,000 points? That's a little odd. In Japan, the game costs 800, and in Europe, it's only 500. Uno for DSiWare costs 800, while everywhere else only pays 500. The Uno on Xbox and PlayStation are only $5. So why is Uno more expensive on Nintendo? Did GameLoft lose a lot of money and are trying to make that money back? Are Americans more willing to pay for Uno? Or is Nintendo just a greedy corporation hell-bent on stealing people's money? No, we know it's not that one. Touch Solitaire, a contender for Game of the Year for sure, is a simple solitaire game that Japan got within the first month of DSiWare, last January. It's definitely worth the $2 just to play this game instead of having to play it for free on the computer. What a waste. Projectile is a fusion of Bubble Bobble and Breakout. You aim missiles into patterns of blocks and watch it bounce around for a little bit. The goal here is to destroy your enemy targets. You're only given a limited number of missiles to work with though, so you gotta complete each level before you run out. If you manage to do it without using up all your missiles, you earn a medal, which help you unlock more levels. Interestingly, levels are color-coded representing the max number of turns you can take, 7 for green, 5 for blue, and 3 for red. It's a fantastic puzzle game for only 500 points and earns the Wario fan double seal of approval. If you're familiar with tower defense games, then you already have a basic idea of how starship defense works. Enemies come at your stationary base wave after wave until you knock them all out, or survive the encounter. You gain money to build various weapons to defend your base. This is a really fantastic tower defense game that you should definitely buy it, and if you don't, then I'll make angry forum posts about you, and you don't really want that now, do you? Nintendo also released Number Battle. Each player is given tiles with any number from 1 through 5 on them, and up to 4 connectors on each side. Players take turns laying down the tiles, but only if the connecting sides match up. That's how you get points. You can only connect to your own tiles, unless a rainbow tile is thrown into the mix. Then an opponent can sabotage your playing field for more points for him. Up to 4 people can play, and it also goes online. Hell's Kitchen Versus came out. The gameplay consists of you mixing bland ingredients into bland bowls and serve them into bland-looking tables with a bland Gordon Freeman Ramsay watching over you and making snide remarks. I guess. I mean, this game is rated E, so I can imagine his insults were toned down just a bit.
Hey, Josh! Yes, chef.
Good work.
Little bastard. Oh,
Hug and kiss.
me senseless.
My Wellingtons are gonna be overdone.
Take as much time as you need, you bitch. Okay, and that about wraps up this unnecessarily long look at all the Nintendo downloads this month. Join me next month, or very soon, for Nintendo Downloads, February 2010 edition, or Sonic & Knuckles, and 25 other games.